A piston set into the table. Beneath the table...
You can't do that.
That isn't going to work. I thought for sure that might work, but it won't.
여기 있다.
There, the surgical tube is connecting the two nozzles.
힘드네. 에메랄드 얻었습니다.
At last, the Romanov emerald. What a
That
great
won't work.
There's something inscribed on the pin, but it's far too tiny to make out.
이제 방을 탈출해야 돼요.
The air is escaping. The air valve is closed. The tank is full of air.
예, 힘듭니다. 부담이 있어가지고.
That isn't going to work.
You can't do that.
I worked hard to rig that. I'll leave.
이거 띄워주고. 이거 한번 사용해볼까? 아, 이걸 찾아야 되는구나. 고정시켜야 되는데.
I worked so hard to do that. I think I'll leave things the way they are.
You can't do that.
I thought for sure that might work, but it won't. That isn't going to work.
레버키가
That isn't going to work. I thought for sure that might work, but it won't. That isn't going to work.
You can't do that.
I worked so hard to do that. I think I'll leave things the way they are. Ripley, get a grip on yourself. That isn't going to work. I worked so hard to do that. I think I'll leave things the way they are. I thought for sure that might work, but it won't. Ripley, get a grip on yourself. You can't do that. I'm not thinking. I worked so hard to do that. I think I'll leave things the way they are. Ripley, I thought for sure that might work, but it won't. Ripley, get a grip on yourself. Oh no! All the air is escaping from the nozzle. That won't work. You can't do that. I worked hard to rig that. That won't work. That won't work. I thought for sure that might work, but it won't. Get a grip on yourself. I worked so hard to do that. I think I'll leave things the way they are. That isn't going to work. I worked so hard to do that. I thought for sure that might work, but it won't. There, the surgical tube is connecting the two nozzles. I worked so hard to do that. I think I'll leave things the way they are. I worked hard to rig that. I'll leave it where it is for now. That isn't going to work. That isn't going to work. You don't need that. It's firmly in place. I thought for sure that might work, but it won't. This is no time. I worked so. The curious glass bottle is shaped like the ace of spades.
바닥을 막아서 물을 채운 다음에 기울이면은 계속 열려 있겠죠? 그렇게 해야 되는데.
You can't do that. That isn't going to work. It's firm. Ripley, get a grip on yourself. Firmly in place. That isn't going to work. That isn't going to work. I thought for sure that might work, but it won't. I worked so hard to do that. I think I'll leave things the way they are.
공략을 볼까? 공략을 보도록 하겠습니다. 코르크 빼고 에메랄드, 티블러지 이거를 넣겠습니다.
I worked so hard to do that. I think I'll leave things the way they are. Ripley, get a grip on yourself. I thought for sure that might work, but it won't. You can't do that. I thought for sure that might work, but it won't. That won't work. That won't work. Ripley, get a grip on yourself. I worked so hard to do that. I think I'll leave that isn't going to work. I worked so hard to do that. I thought for sure that might work, but Ripley, get a grip on yourself. I thought for sure that might work, but it won't. I worked so hard to do that. I think I worked so hard to do that. I think I'll leave things the way. Ripley, get a grip on yourself. I thought for sure that might work, but it won't.
Let's do
I thought for sure that might work, but it won't. That won't work. That isn't going to work. That won't work.
안 되네. 안 되지. 이거
That won't work. That won't work.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
I worked hard to rig that. I'll leave it where it is for now.
You can't do that.
I worked hard to rig that. I'll leave it where it is. I worked so hard to do that. I think I'll leave things the way they are. The bottle's iron support has been attached to the gear wheel. There's a tiny hole in the iron near the neck of the bottle.
That isn't going to work.
Ripley, get a grip on yourself. Ripley, get a grip on yourself.
You can't do that. That isn't going to work.
I worked so hard to do that. I think I'll leave
That
things.
won't work.
오
The iron clamp is unlocked.
You can't do that.
I thought for sure that might work, but
That won't work.
I worked so hard to do that.
That won't work.
좋아 좋았어 박아버리고 받고 받고 이거를 여기에 달면은 그리고 호스를 여기서부터 이렇게 잡아가지고 싱크대까지
That won't work.
아니지 떡꼭지
I worked so hard to do that. I think I'll leave things the way they are.
어디냐
I worked hard to rig that. I'll leave it where it is for now. Ripley, get a grip on yourself.
That won't work. That won't work.
그렇지 이거를 그럼 튜브에
That isn't going to work.
튜브 그렇지 그렇지 오케이 됐어 저장해주고요 물을 틉시다
That won't work. That isn't going to work.
You get a grip on yourself.
이거 어디 갔지? 떡꼭지 이거 핸들
I worked hard to rig that. I'll leave it where it is for now.
여기 있다
The air valve is closed.
떡꼭지 핸들을 달고 핸들을 움직이면
Baron, you are one very strange man.
남자 당신은 정말 이상한 사람이야
It wouldn't be a real laboratory without a microscope. It's addressed to the old Baron, Otto Baron von Seltz. Otto Baron von Seltzem, Schloss Pikas, Free City of Danzig, February 26, 1936. My dear Baron, as you are aware, I have been conducting a series of excavations at what I had presumed to be. For some reason, the microscope has been bolted in place.
현미경 버튼 현미경
The letters TI and XE. That's all.
TIX 너무 작아 주기율표를 인터넷에서 확인하고 오겠습니다 TI. TI가 타이타늄 22 X1 제논 54.
A steel door. It reminds me of the hat and be a real laboratory without a microscope.
아이고. 뭐야, 됐잖아.
Otto Baron von Seltzam, Schloss Pikas, Free City of Danzig, February 26, 1936. My dear Baron, as you...
반대로 해봅시다. 452.
T-I and X-E. Spelled backwards, you have exit. Exactly what I planned to do. Oh no. It's pitch dark in here. Ripley, if you've locked yourself in a safe or the old Baron's private dungeon, they may never find your body. Is the Romanov curse at work on me already? Ow! What's this? Stairs leading up.
빠져나왔죠. 이제 그 발언의 무덤에 침입해야 됩니다. 여기죠? 섬 저장해주고 얘기를 해봅시다. 멜랑콜리
What a melancholy aspect this place presents.
It is the damp. Almost a swamp is here.
Even in the daylight, the atmosphere is oppressive.
The gases rises up. There are stories I could tell you about the gases that would make your hair curl.
I may take you up on that.
Is there a bell near the door of
Is that a bell near the door of the tomb?
Ja, mein Herr.
A doorbell?
Examine carefully. There is a story in that tomb resting with the Baron.
I could pay if the story were curious enough. Sorry to bother you.
I'm a busy man. Please let me work.
Sturdy stone urns filled with... This is no time to play the fool.
Please do not touch mein Herr.
Sorry.
무슨 벨이 있다 그랬는데. 벨이 어딨지?
The old wheelbarrow is not shaped like the Ace of Spades. Ace of Spades Castle will make a marvelous addition to my gallery of cartoons. Beautifully tended flower bed. shaped like the ace of spades. Beneath the stone, a lump of clay, lies the man called Peter Hamels, who I can't reach the baron.
You can't do that.
Here lies the body of Heinrich Blake, stepped on the gas instead of the brake.
기억났다. 뉴욕으로 돌아가도록 합시다.
Guten Tag, Horst.
Guten Tag, Herr Ripley.
I'd like to get a message to the Danzig chief of police. I'm curious to learn exactly how the last Baron von Seltsam died.
You suspect foul play?
No, but certain events make the timing of the Baron's death troubling. Can you get a message to the chief
남작이
of
죽은
police?
타이밍이
Leave it to me,
이상하다.
Herr Ripley.
어떻게 죽었는지 알고 싶다고 하네요. 경찰한테 연락하고 싶다고 메시지를 지금 보내죠.
Horst, I want to send a radiogram to Lima, Peru, to a Professor Menendez at the university.
페루에 있는 대학 교수한테 편지를 하나 더 쓰네요. 마스터루가 갔던 것 중에 하나죠, 페루가.
I'd like to send a parcel to New York.
전기품을 보내도록 합시다. 에메랄드를 전시해 놓도록 하죠.
It will leave on the first plane out tomorrow.
I'd like to book
뉴욕으로 갑시다.
passage.
Auf jeden Fall, Herr Ripley. Und where will you be traveling?
New York.
Sehr gut, mein Herr. When will you be ready to leave?
Now.
Entschuldigen Sie, Herr Ripley. Your account is empty. Would you like to pay in cash?
Ah, better make it cash then.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Evening, George.
Hiya, Mr. Ripley. There's a message for you.
오버워치 하시나요?
The Baron's son hounded me about this as well. I can state without hesitation that the old Baron died of pneumonia. The only curse on the old Baron was a tendency to sleep with the windows open. Please to keep out of police affairs. Signed, Krut, Chief of Police, Free City of Danzig.
단지 경찰서에서 연락 왔는데 별거 아니네요. 죽은 사위는 윈도우 아니구나. 창문이 열려 있었다고. 자세히 못 들었는데 여기서 거북이를 가져가야 합니다. 거북증이 여기 있죠?
I'd better take good care of the little critter. Feng Li thinks... Evening, George.
Hiya, Mr. Ripley.
I'd like to book
다시
passage.
단식으로 갑시다.
Sure thing, Mr. Ripley. Where you headed this time?
Danzig.
Okie doke, Mr. Ripley. When will you be ready to leave?
Now.
Mr. Ripley, your account is empty again, sir. Will that be cash?
Of course, of course.
Thank you, Mr. Ripley. Have a swell trip.
Guten Tag, Horst.
Guten Tag, Herr Ripley. There is a message for you.
Mr. Ripley, sir. Emerald look nice but act bad. Remind Feng Li of first wife. Feng Li thinks it must be cursed. After it on display only 2 hours, sharp fall on one customer. Another customer have allergic reaction to puffball. Each day only get worse. I send back Emerald to you. Sincerely, Feng Li.
리플리가 운영하고 있는 박물관에 운영하고 있는 팽리가 에메랄드 저주받은 거 아니냐고 어떤 손님이 이거 보고 깜짝 놀랐다고 자지러졌다고 하면서 니 다시 가져라 다시 줬습니다.
Ace of Spades Castle, home to generations of Barons von Seltsam.
에메랄드에 저주가 걸려있다는 소문이 있죠. 자, 이제
The old wheelbarrow is not shaped
농부를
like the ace of
아니,
spades.
여기 정원사를 불러드려야 합니다. 칼같이 각을 잡은 것을 이렇게 횃불을 놓으면은 얘한테 말을 하죠.
Excuse me, but I've noticed how meticulously you attend to your topiaries.
Yeah, each one must be precisely shaped.
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the bush out front is a mess.
I only just trimmed it. Oh, the plants, they hate me, you know.
다시 나무를 가꾸러 가죠. 빨리 가라. 이제 이 장비들을 챙겨야 됩니다. 삽, 열반지. 사다리가 어딨지? 필요 없나?
Do not meddle with the bell, mein Herr. It is disrespectful to the old Baron.
Sorry.
Yeah, you should be.
한번 불러보고요. 여기
This is no time to play the fool. Ripley, get a grip on yourself. That won't work. You can't do that.
이거 받치고 올라가서 이걸 열죠. 뭐야?
You don't need that.
여기 거북이를 넣은 다음에
He just sits there like a turtle.
거북이 먹이가 저한테 있죠. 먹이를 놓고 거북이를 놓읍시다.
Wow! Ate it in one gulp. Little fella sure loves those things.
먹이를 좀 더 깊게 넣어야 돼요. 거북이를 넣고 이제 거북이 안쪽으로 들어가겠죠? 아무 일도 없던 것처럼 배를 올리고
Herr Ripley, the bell. I thought it might be you.
No?
Gott im Himmel, the old Baron. The bell! The old Baron! The old Baron!
The Chinese symbol for long life on every wall. I think I finally understand the old Baron's interest in Lou. Even with all his safeguards, how could the Baron prevent his being buried alive? How could he outwit death? With Lou's elixir of life. You thought he might have succeeded in his quest after all, eh, Baron? If we could uncover a sample, or even the formula, you could duplicate it in your secret laboratory. It's the kind of dream every man flirts with when the road shortens and the end is near. But that's all it is, a dream, and a waste of time. Better to face our mortality, I think, to live the years we're granted as fully as we can. This ceramic mask is, I believe, to be placed over loose tablet to indicate what portion of the tablet must be deciphered. It was sent to me by a Japanese gentleman I employed in Shanghai to seek out any information on the first emperor's tomb. He wrote that it was found in a curio shop and obtained quite cheaply. I've heard nothing further from him. His silence is troubling. If he has come to realize the true import of this key and how it relates to the tablet in the Hall of Classics, who knows whom he may tell? The Japanese imperialists would dearly love to get their hands on the Emerald Seal. I grow increasingly weak, I'm afraid, so you, the one reading this, may now understand the lengths I went to take my knowledge to the grave with me. If you do acquire the Emerald Seal, I beg of you, don't turn its power to world domination. Find it in your heart to use the seal only in the name of good. Then I can sleep my long sleep in peace. Signed, Otto, 6th Baron von Seltsam. I'll do my best, Baron. I promise you. So this is the key at last, an overlay for loose tablet. Now I need all the scripts necessary to translate the tablet. Now, how the heck do I get you down? Guten Tag, Horst.
Guten Tag, Herr Ripley. There is a message for you.
마스터루에 대한 모든 정보를 그 무덤에 같이 자기 무덤에 같이 묻어놨고 이걸 좀 선한 사람이 이걸 가져갔으면 좋겠다고 했는데 리플리가 기대에 부응하겠다며 혼자 생각했습니다.
Mr. Ripley, sir, we need oddities. Customers going to Central Park to watch ducks instead of coming here. Bills past due. Feng Li low on candles. Help. Sincerely, Feng Li. I also have a special parcel to send to New York.
Special?
A turtle of distinction. And I've packed lots of his favorite treats in with him for the long journey home. Handle with care.
Auf jeden Fall, Herr Ripley.
I'd like to send a parcel to New York.
Auf jeden Fall, Herr Ripley. It will leave on the first plane out tomorrow.
I'd like to book passage.
Auf jeden Fall, Herr Ripley. Und where will you be traveling?
마스터루가 갔던 곳 중 하나인 페루.
Peru.
Sehr gut, mein Herr.
미스터 섬으로 가야 됩니다.
When will you be ready to leave?
Now.
Entschuldigen Sie, Herr Ripley. Your account is empty. Would you like to pay in cash?
Ah, better make it cash then.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Buenos dias, Mateo.
Buenos dias, Senor Ripley. Welcome back to Lima. There are messages for you.
Mr. Ripley, sir. Lights and water cut off shortly. Only 3 customers today from Ohio. No more oddities, no more auditorium. Situation desperate. Sincerely, Feng Li. Mr. Ripley, sir. Thank you very much for returning Little Turtle Friend. Glad to report he arrived safely, although for some reason he not much like maple sugar treats anymore. Sincerely, Feng Li. Dear Mr. Ripley, I regret to inform you that Professor Jorge Menendez was killed 2 weeks ago in an attempted robbery. Most of his papers are missing or destroyed. The perpetrator remains at large. We're all shocked to say the least, and it will take us months to reconstruct the professor's work. But if I can be of assistance, please do not hesitate to contact me. Signed, Rafael Campos, Assistant Professor of Archaeology, National University of San Marcos, Lima. Months? I don't have months. The man Menendez mentioned in his letter, the one who was following him, I wonder who he was. Mr. Ripley, sir, no want emerald, rocking man fall off chair, customers get into fist fight. Almost squished tomato torso, Feng Li's eyebrows catch on fire. First time ever. I refuse delivery if you send emerald to me again. Sincerely, Feng Li.
에메랄드 다시는 보내지 말라고 하네요. 빡치는 거 보기 싫으면.
Thanks.
그리고 거북이 다시 돌려줘서 고맙다고 하고, 거북이가 더 이상 그 거북이 먹으리 하지 않는다고 하네요. 그리고 이 페루의 그 프로페서한테, 교수한테 편지를 썼었는데, 교수가 2주 전에 강도를 당해서 어떤 종이들이나 이런 문서들 다 사라지고 죽었다고 합니다. 자, 이제 이스터 섬으로 가기 전에.
Thanks. Goodbye.
Vaya con Dios, señor.
이거 좀 그림 좀 그려주고. 그리고 환전 좀 합시다.
I'd like to buy some of your local currency.
How much inti would you like, señor?
Thanks. Goodbye.
Vaya con Dios, señor.
이 시계가 나중에 필요합니다. 이 시계에 대한 얘기를 좀 해주십시오.
An unusual looking clock. I wonder if there's a story behind it. I expect my Ripley, keep your hands off. You have some interesting objects here. This clock, may I ask where it came from?
The mechanism has been with my family for many years. My grandfather had it custom made by one of the finest clockmakers in Switzerland. The original case fell to pieces long ago. I found that coral to replace it.
Was the original also shaped like that?
Si, señor. My grandfather used to say, people are always watching the clock. He wanted one that would look back.
소중한 거라고 하죠.
I'd like to send a parcel to New York.
Muy bien, señor Ripley.
에메랄드를 다시 보내도록 하겠습니다. 지금 세 번째 보내는 거예요. 그리고 이스터 섬으로
It will go out on tomorrow's plane.
Thanks. I'd like to book passage.
Si, señor. And where will you be traveling?
Easter Island.
Easter Island. A popular destination.
Oh?
Si, señor. An expedition led by Dr. Twelvetrees has just returned there after several weeks.
12 trees? Again? The doctor gets around as much as I do.
Also, 2 Oriental gentlemen were inquiring only yesterday.
One small, one big with glasses?
Si, señor. You know them?
They're not on my Christmas list. This is getting to be a very small world indeed.
When will you be leaving for Easter Island, señor Ripley?
몇 주 전에 여자 한 명이랑 그리고 며칠 전에 남자 2명이, 선글라스 낀 남자 2명이 이스터 섬으로 갔다고 합니다.
Now.
Perdóname, señor Ripley. Your account is empty. Will you be paying in cash?
Of course, of course.
Very good. Have a good trip, señor.
저장해주고요. 누가 있죠? 트웰프트리입니다.
Oh, excuse me.
Do you mind?
Not in the slightest.
닥터 트웰프트리를 찾고 있다.
I'm looking for Dr. Twelvetrees.
Would you hand me my shirt, please?
Delighted.
벗고 있죠?
Terribly sorry. Just be a moment.
옷을
Give me the
찢어버린다.
shirt. Swell. May I help you?
I'm looking for Dr. Twelvetrees.
You were leering at Dr. Twelvetrees a moment ago.
Oh, really? That is to say, I wasn't leering. I'm Robert Ripley. I believe we share a common interest. I had some questions.
I know who you are, Mr. Ripley. I recognized you.
Ah.
As far as I'm concerned, we share no common interests. I'm a scientist. You're in showbiz.
난 과학자고 니는 족밥이야 이러고 있네요. 우린 공통된 관심사 따윈 없어.
Was there something else?
우리 둘 다 마스터루에 관심 있잖아.
We're both interested in Master Lu.
Master who?
Don't fence with me, Doctor. You're supposed to be the leading Western authority on the man.
Of what possible interest could an ancient sage have to the man who brought us an hourglass filled with jelly beans?
Ah, then you've been to the auditorium.
Answer my question. Maybe then I'll answer yours.
왜 마스터루에 그 돌석상 그 중국에 있던 거기 왜 왔다 갔냐?
May I ask why you went to see Master Lu's tablet at the Hall of Classics?
Rongo Rongo tablets.
Take two and heartburn bubbles away?
They're sacred wood tablets found on this island. They've never been deciphered. I hope Lu's tablet might provide a clue to their translation.
And did it?
There is definitely Rongo Rongo script on Lu's tablet, but it's intermingled with others. A translation is almost impossible. The islanders hid or buried most of their tablets
했는데
generations
해석이
ago.
어려웠다.
I was hoping to find some at the foot of this altar.
I was wondering...
Mr. Ripley, you're a fast talker, I'll give you that. But I want some answers from you.
I'm not sure I can trust you.
You're right. We do have something in common.
How do I know you're not after the secrets of Master Lu for some sinister purpose?
How do I know you're not?
나쁜 목적으로 마스터루의 비밀을 찾고 있는 게 아니냐 서로 의심하고 있죠.
I tried to contact you in Egypt.
I was in Thebes for a while. What stopped you?
I was intercepted by two cutthroats who almost made an end of me in the desert.
It has nothing to do with me.
I wish I could be sure of that.
누가 습격을 해서 만나려고 했는데 못 만났다. 근데 내가 그런 거 아니다. 이러고 있네.
An attempt was made to steal Master Lu's tablet.
What? But why would anyone...
Right after you saw it.
I'm a scientist, not a thief.
Someone might say archaeologists steal the past all the time. The British Museum is full of antiquities removed from their proper resting sites by scientists.
Mr. Ripley, it wasn't necessary to track me halfway across the world to criticize my profession. Next time, write a letter.
I need your help, but...
Sounds as if you better decide whether you can trust me or not.
아직 못 믿고 있죠.
Look, okay, I'll trust you.
You made the right choice.
Somebody, possibly the Japanese or the Nazis or the Chinese communists, it could even be Russians or mobsters for all I know, but somebody is after the first Emperor's seal of office. I intend to beat them to it.
Mr. Ripley, no one has entered the tomb in over 2,000 years.
제국주의자들이 마스터루의
What makes
비밀을
you
찾고
think you
있다고
can
하네.
succeed where generations before you have failed?
I don't know that I can. I only know I have to try. I'm the only person in a position to put all the pieces of Master Lu's puzzle together. I came here trying to find a clue to deciphering the Easter Island script on Lu's tablet, and to talk to you.
It's such a crazy story. I almost believe you.
Crazy stories are my stock in trade. Can you help me?
I'm not sure. I found a fragment of script on a stone head north of here, but I doubt it'll be of much use to you.
I'd like to see it.
This way.
마스터루의 타블릿에서 이스터 섬에 대한 얘기를 들었는데 도와달라고 하는데 요즘 타블렛이 말이 많네요.
Here's a good example of Easter Island script.
Can you translate any of it?
No, no one can. That's why I went to see Master Lu's tablet in China. It wasn't much help, I'm afraid.
누나를 뽑도록 하겠습니다.
Ouch!
The pupils are made of obsidian, Mr. Ripley. Black volcanic glass. It can get very hot on this island.
Have you seen any other examples?
Only fragments. I'm hoping my exploration by the altar may produce something.
I wonder if I could turn up some more.
Mr. Ripley, I'm a trained archaeologist, and it's difficult enough for me.
Oh, I don't know. I have a way of stumbling over things other people pass by.
I'll bet.
I'm very sorry about that. Please allow me to pay for the damage.
If you do find some more script, that will be payment enough. There is someone you might want to talk to.
Who?
An old woman who comes each day to a cove north of here to pray to the Watchers.
Sounds like there's an interesting story attached to this old woman.
Long ago, there were two tribes on the island, the Long Ears, who were the rulers, and the Short Ears, their subjects. The Long Ears ordered the Short Ears to build these famed Easter Island statues.
A remarkable achievement.
The Long-Ears next ordered the Short-Ears to clear the land of rocks and stones and throw them into the sea.
Why?
One theory states the Long-Ears felt the other stones detracted from the majesty of the statues. But the Short-Ears rebelled and determined to attack their oppressors. A huge ditch stretched the width of the island and prevented attack by land. It was filled with wood and could be ignited to repel invaders. They knew they must attack from the sea. The Watchers stood in their way. Come with me. There were 2 Watchers, one a man who kept an eye on the sea approach to the Long-Ears' lands, and a guardian god who all believed would punish the Short-Ears if he saw them pass.
할머니가 여기 맨날 기도하러 온다고 하네요.
The night of the attack, the Short-Ears toppled the statue face down so that they could pass without the god seeing them. There she is, supposedly a descendant of the original Watcher.
What happened to him?
He vanished. Some say he ran away in fear when the Short-Ears approached. But the old woman refuses to believe her ancestor was a coward. She comes here every day to pray to the watching god. She believes if it can be made to see again, all will know the truth of that night.
Fascinating.
I have long suspected that she knows more than she'll say. Some family tradition, perhaps, that could help both of us in our quests. Good luck, Mr. Ripley. I have to get back to my dig.
다시 삽질하러 간다고 하는데 이 할머니의
Thanks,
조상이
Doctor.
뭐 여기 매일 와가지고 뭘 지켜보는 어떤 신의 성역을 지키는 사람이었는데 어느 날 없어졌다. 그래서 이 할머니는 내 조상은 도망간 게 아니다라는 걸 증명하기 위해서 그 사람을 다시 본다면 어떤 진실이 밝혀지겠지. 그래서 항상 이 자리에 지키러 온다고 합니다.
May I talk to you for a moment?
I pray,
That your God may see again?
so that the grandfather of all my grandfathers may rest with honor instead of scorn.
You speak excellent English.
Missionaries have their uses.
Can I help you in any way?
As a child, I had a vision, as my mother before me, and her mother before her, that one would come from over the sea, even as my people came in times long forgotten. That one would make the watching God see again. In my vision, the one who would come
어떤
was
전설이 있나 보네.
much taller.
When you had the vision, you were much smaller. I won't disturb her prayers again unless I find a way to help her.
기도하고 있습니다. 여기서 아까 봤던 거랑 비슷한 그 시계랑 비슷하게 생겼죠. 일단 여기서 할 수 있는 건 없습니다. 돌아가도록 합시다. 저 누나를 다시 뽑기 위해서 옷을 가지고
That pole could come in handy, but it's not really mine to take. Oh, she'll never miss it. I can bring it back later.
이것도 훔쳐가 줍니다. 저장 한번 하고.
An electrical power cable runs from the shed to the hut.
이거 눈알에 박아주고.
You can't do that.
안 박히나?
You can't do that. The door to the hut has a padlock on it.
다시 할머니한테 가보도록 하죠.
Hard for the watching god to see with its face buried in the hillside like that. You can't do that. Hitting the statue with the pole won't accomplish anything. Ripley, that stump is practically petrified. Hitting the statue with the pole won't accomplish anything. That won't work. Hard for the watching god to see. The stone is far too heavy to shift. Hitting the statue with the pole won't accomplish anything. The top knot to the fallen statue. Mr. Ripley, gone to the settlement for supplies. Be back shortly. 12 trees. That wire must connect to the power cable that runs to the hut. The latest in portable generators. It obviously provides power to Dr. 12tree's hut. Spike to the ground. Might be a tad heavy, too. I'd better not disturb Dr. 12tree's dig. Looks like an ancient altar. Don't need that. The cliff rises over 30 feet above the sea. You can't do that. 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 Mr. Ripley, this interesting item came into my possession quite by accident last year while I was in China. I thought it might amuse you. To the best of my knowledge, it is the cheapest stamp ever struck. I'd better not disturb her prayers until I learn more. I'd better hang on to that for now. You can't do that. The statue obviously stood on that base, facing the sea. I'm not thinking. That stump is practically petrified. I thought for sure that might work. You can't do that. I'm not thinking. You can't do that. I thought for sure that might work, but it won't. Ripley, get a grip on yourself. That'll work. You can't do that. You can't do that.
신이 모습을 보였죠.
The watching god can see again.
One eye is missing.
Lots of people can see with one eye.
There is only one watching God, and it must have two eyes before it can
눈이
see.
하나밖에 없어서 안 된다고 하는데 사람들은 한 눈으로도
This is
잘
going to be
본다.
harder than I thought.
인성이 대단하죠. 이걸 박아주도록 합시다.
Just out of reach.
어떻게 박지?
You can't do that.
얘한테 줄까?
Madam, I have what you need.
You can make the watching God see again?
Yes.
Is this all?
Well, yes.
This eye is not complete. Find the missing part. Then the watching God will see again.
눈이 완벽하지 않다고 하죠.
I'm an
나머지를
adventurer,
찾아오라고
not an
하네요.
optician. I'd better hang on to that for
시계를
now.
찾으러 가야 될 것 같아요. 다시 라마로 갑시다.
Buenos dias, Mateo.
Buenos dias, Senor Ripley. Welcome back to Lima. There are messages for you.
Mr. Ripley, sir. Non-stop chair sitter, take walk. Marshals put padlock on door. Warrant out for your arrest. Don't return to New York until you send oddities first, and Feng Li can reopen and pay bills. Sincerely, Feng Li. Refuse delivery. Feng Li warned me that's what he'd do.
뉴욕에 오면 체포당할 거라고 하네요.
Thanks.
뭘 지불하지 않았다고 하는데.
I'd better hang on to that for now. I'm still intrigued
시계를
by some
가져가야
of the
돼요.
interesting objects you have here. Thanks. Goodbye.
Vaya con Dios, Senor.
자, 물물 교환을 해보도록 합시다.
This driftwood reminded me of a puffin when I first saw it.
You're right. It is a remarkable likeness.
I expect Mateo. Ripley, keep your hands off. I'm still intrigued by some of the interesting objects you have here. Where did you say the clock came from?
The mechanism has been with my family for many years. My
Thanks. Goodbye.
Vaya con Dios, Senor.
You can't do that. This driftwood reminded me of a puffin when I first saw it.
You're right. It is a remarkable likeness.
이걸 어떻게 주지?
This is no time to play the fool. I expect Ripley, keep your hands off. I'd like to send a parcel to New York.
Muy bien, Senor Ripley.
Thanks. Goodbye.
Vaya con Dios, Senor.
You can't do that. This is no time to play the fool. I'd better hang on to that. I'd better hang on to that for now. I'd better hang on to that for now. This
가지라고.
driftwood reminded me of a puffin when I first